Mm, Perfecte, hauries de veure ja la sala d'espera.
Hi ha dos ara, Albert, vull dir que suposo que... No?
Sí, aquí com a mínim m'han respost 6 que ha desconnectat.
Vale. Quina hora és? Les 5 en punt. Bueno,
Sí,
espero 2 minuts més. Ja vaig obrint aquesta gent perquè està puntual, vale? I,
vale, perfecte.
i ja... A veure, Tenjo i Julia Torres. Julia Torres, en anglès?
No, és neerlandès, em sembla. No sé d'on és.
Ah, vale.
Vale, doncs em desconnecto. Qualsevol coseta em dieu.
Ok,
Que vagi molt bé.
molt bé. Albert,
Ens
gràcies.
veiem demà. Adéu.
Adiós. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing good, thank you. How are you doing?
We are fine also.
Good to
Here
hear.
to hear you and your doubts and all these things for the thesis work. Okay, we will wait 2 minutes more. Okay, in order to to keep if there's someone is coming, and we will begin. Okay. Yeah. You have read, no, the thesis guide. Do you have read the thesis guide?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And you have in mind the draft that you have to send, that in the annex of the last page is the preliminary project. Do you have
Yes.
this in
The
mind?
yes,
Yeah.
the 11 sections. Yeah, 1 to 11, correct?
Perfect. Then I think that it will be easy, this meeting. Okay. Mm, I think that Julia is trying to connect. Okay, we have here 2 more. Okay. Elizabeth, I spell your name as Catalan, Elizabeth. If you can open the camera, please, if it's possible, because in this way we can't face each other. Because if not, it's like a sensation that is not so good for doing this meeting. Okay, if you have some problems for connection, it's not problem. Only if it's possible. Okay. Okay, I think that we can begin. Then this meeting, as you know, is for having this meeting for solving some doubts that if you have for the general criteria for the thesis work, because as you know, you have a tutor for you, okay, that I think that you have meetings with your tutor. Someone of you have this week or the next week, but it's important that before to send this draft, okay, you can talk with your personal professor for talking about it. Yeah. Okay. Then I will introduce myself and also Beatriz Villarejo. I think that Julia has, your tutor is Beatriz Villarejo. I don't know if you have some student more in the meeting. Yes. And as you know, we are from the research group of Gabinete Comunicación y Educación. We are both of us, we are professors here in the Faculty of Science Communication, experts on media and information and literacy, and also in other topics. And also we like so much to help students for having their work on thesis work, master thesis, and all the theses, because we enjoy so much to help you, okay, in order that you can have success with your work. You know that in the master, the most important thing is to have your final work, because it's your own contribution, okay? Yeah? Then, the first thing that I want to ask you, you have in mind that there are two types of thesis, the research thesis work and project thesis work. You have this difference? Yes? Do you have some doubt about that? No? No. You are doing research or project? What is your option?
For me, I'm doing project.
Okay. Andrea? It's mute.
Yes, sorry, hello. I came later to this meeting, and nice to meet you, Professor Christina. So
Yes.
I didn't understand actually the difference between project and the
Okay.
research. That's why I wanted to ask you about these
Perfect.
two. Yes.
Okay, perfect. There's someone more that have the same doubt?
I do.
Okay, then the research project is more to be focused on research, as the same is done. It's true that the project or the application, also you have to do a literature review, because when we have to do a project that we have to go to the reality to apply this product or this idea, also we have to use the science. But in the case of the research, okay, you have a literature review about a topic, and then you can do or quantitative or qualitative methodology, and you don't have to develop a prototype or product, in order to test with users. Do you understand? It's only to do research work, okay? And if you want, for instance, to test an idea that you want to have this part of science, but then you want to test if your idea is good, how the end users see your idea, okay? Then you can do this first part of research, of course, but then you define, for instance, a platform, an application, a workshop on media literacy, or another type of activities. And the idea is to do a pilot. What means this? This means that, for instance, you have, for instance, a training sessions, and then you have to test one session with end users, for instance. Or another example, if you want to do a platform in order to promote media and information literacy, address it to young people or address it to all elder people, okay, then you can do, for instance, the design, all these things, and to develop one module, for instance, and then to have focus group with potential end users in order to capture what is their experience on that you have designed. Then, do you understand? The first option is more researched, that focused on literature review, on if you want to do online questionnaires, or you want to do social media analysis or interviews and all these things, in order to search or to have information about the topic. For instance, imagine that you want to search to be focused on how are them best practice on to promote well-being, applying media and information literacy practice, for instance, no? Or what are the recommendations in scientific community about how to promote a better critical understanding, how to balance the use of smartphones in young people. For instance, you can do this in a research way, okay? A research option, doing only this literature review and also to interview experts or interview young people, you know, in this sense. But if you want to do an application, is that you have to do this application, okay? And you have to test. Not all the project because we don't have so much time, but it's very interesting to do a pilot. A pilot means you have to agree with your tutor what type of pilot you can do, okay? And then you do an evaluation of this pilot also, no? In order to test your own idea on that. It's clear? Yeah? Then this is the big difference, okay? And it depends if you want to do something more. I have an idea to do a workshop or to do an application, to do a platform, and I want to do this research on science, but I want to go to reality and to try to apply and to do this pilot and evaluation, or not. I want to only to be a researcher, you know? Yeah. What
I
are
have
your
a question,
yeah?
Miss Christina. So project is more like, okay, I have the product here and we observe how the users
Yeah.
use it, what they think about it. So it's the
Yeah.
product that we have. But research is more like we are observing. Is it like that?
Not only observing, also you do interviews, but you don't have a product.
Analyzing
Yes,
too.
is to analyze, is to do more this intellectual work that we have to do. Okay, it's not mean that it's not useful. It's very useful also, but it depends. It depends what are your main motivation. For instance, some students in other courses they have no idea that want to do and to test if this idea works, no, and in the reality, and then. It's also to define the idea, you need science, okay? And we don't test anything that is not, a scientific evidence, no? But the other thing, there are people that wants to reinforce the research skills and then use more the option of research thesis in order to investigate more, no, about and to do more interviews, more focus group maybe, or also social media analysis or content analysis about some projects that are already being, no, here. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. What are your ideas now? When or what are you interested in? What do you want to do?
In my opinion, I will choose, as far as I thought before, an original research, just to use online questionnaire, which will help me more these research, and I will test hypothesis, and I'll try to make to more respondents of online questionnaire. So original research, it's for me.
And what is your what your topic? What is your topic?
My topic is digital media and information literacy from access to critical competence in Romanian, digital literacy in our country, in Romania.
Okay. We will take more this in our meeting that we are pending. Okay, yes, Andrea, I write you this afternoon. Okay.
Yes.
But okay, you will be focused on research. That is a good option also for this topic. And the other ones, the others.
Mine, I'm gonna do a practical one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus on the use of WhatsApp as a means of teaching for teachers in areas in Brazil where it's difficult for them to reach school, for example.
Perfect. It's a so good idea also, and more and so necessary. Okay, and more.
My thesis is about how do people trust political news, like in a lot of country. If you are an English speaker, and how is the level of your English, and do you also consume the political news from your source, from your country source, and how do you trust that? It's like to observe the variable of how people trust some political news, like from some sources, some famous sources. Yeah.
Okay, one recommendation, but it's not mandatory, but for me
Mm-hmm.
it's a recommendation for all, is that
Yeah.
you have to think about, on your topic also, how to contribute to have social impact. I mean, now in science, no, in other science, social science, the other science and all, for instance, in Europe, they request that we have to show how our research, no, our work can contribute to improve the people's life, no? And then the research that is only descriptive, okay, this, for instance, no, in your idea, you have to do, my recommendation, to do another chart and say, okay, we know that the trust in news is so bad, okay? It's so bad. We can analyze this, that are you saying, no? If it is this, but how we can go to improve the trust in news? Maybe what are the elements, no, that a news has to accomplish in order to engage more trust? Do you understand me? Because if not, it's like, okay, we know there are, for instance, digital news reports, no, for Oxford Internet Institute that each year publish, no, its investigation on that, and the trust on news is, down and down and down and down and down. Okay. Your challenge is also, okay, we can describe this that you are saying, but also what are the solutions? Okay. Do you understand? We want that we can also to contribute in our research group, in our master. We want that you can also think about it, not only describe, no, what are happening. That is necessary to understand what is the things that are passing here, but also how to contribute to improve the reality, to improve the people's life, to improve the trust in news, what for instance in your case, and it will be very useful because people knows that this is happening, but people doesn't know how to solve it. Okay. Do
Thank
you
you so
understand this?
much.
This is a transversal, because if in your works, no matter if it's in research, no matter if it's in an application, you show how to solve, no, some problem, or how to help in a problem, then your work will be more useful for the society, and maybe more people will be interested, because you have to take that your thesis work in your master is also like a letter of presentation, okay, for international community, no? Because all the topics that you are choosing are so necessary, no? There are challenges that we are facing today, but we have to think about it. What is your contribution, no? Beyond the description. Yes.
So our personal contribution to the impact for the society, and impact of our research to the society.
Yeah.
And this is what are you saying? Because
yes,
yes, very important.
It's very important that you think about your topic not only as a description topic, no,
the impact on the
as
general
identifying the challenges and how your research or your application or your project can contribute to solve these challenges, no? it's not to change the world, but you can contribute. The research can contribute some parts of this problem, no? And because this is the interest that scientific community and community in media and information literacy, as you know, we have, no? Not only to describe, we need to is and more in our master that this media and information literacy has this part of being connected with humanism, connected with human rights, to connected with well-being of people, and the justice and all these things, I don't know if Beatriz quieres decir algo antes de, ¿no? Okay. Yes. Do you agree on that?
Yes.
It's more motivating also, no? Okay. Yes. Okay, let's go to the second part. Now we have the first draft that you have to send is on 10th of May. Do you have this deadline, no? In your, okay, perfect. Then in the guide, as I said at the beginning, at the end, there is the different parts or sections that you have to fill, okay, for this draft. It's very important that before sending to the, or to not upload in virtual campus, okay, you can talk about this draft with your personal tutor, okay? Then some of you have a first meeting, some of you have pending this first meeting, no? Then it's important that before to work the first draft, you have this meeting this week or the next week, okay? And then our recommendation is that you can do the draft after this meeting, first meeting with your personal tutor, and send to the tutor in order that can review and you can do this upload, okay? Because it's important to have this dialogue about your proposal, because after that, zoom, you have to work on that, okay? Also, Albert recommend us or tell us that you have in the virtual campus also how to cite, because that you have to do some formal aspects, as for instance upper style, okay? That is the reference work. You have to do this list of reference following this guide style, okay? But the most important thing is, what do you want to do? And the most important thing is something that you are motivated, okay? Because you will work on that until November, okay? And then our recommendation is something that you are motivated, or you have a concern, or you have, something that you want to contribute. This is the most important thing to decide now, because after that, we will have some training sessions, and also we will have together with personal tutor working on how to search Web of Science and all the scientific articles and all these things. But now the most important thing is this one, okay? First, to decide if you want a research, master thesis, or work, or a project. After that, also to be more, to decide the topic and how your contribution for improving this topic, okay? Yeah.
Are there any like practical or research thesis available from older students that we can take a look at?
You have one example of research now, in the virtual campus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any
And
practical?
I will say to Albert that to put also an example of project, because now is the cyberbullying, is more focused on research project.
Thank you.
Yes. Do you have some question more? No? If not, you have your personal tutor, but if you have some question beyond that, we are here, okay? You can do the question to Albert. Albert, ask us and keep in contact.
One more question. Will the first draft be graded?
What?
Will the first draft be graded?
To be great. No. The thesis work is the qualification is at the end. Okay. Now is in order, because if we don't do this part of now the first and then the second, is the danger that at the end you don't have the idea. Okay. Then it's more our pedagogic approach about that is more that if we do this draft, also we can work better, the tutor and the student, in order to refine, to do feedback. It's more a qualitative feedback, but to ensure that you go to the end, in this sense. But the final grade is at the end.
Okay.
And you have also the percentage in the thesis guide.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank
I
you.
also have a question, if I may, Professor Christina. There's due date that is in the presentation guide right now. It's until May 5th or May 6th something. Is that the accurate date for the first draft?
The final draft is 10 of May. 10.
10th, okay.
Yes, 10 of May. It's updated, and also if you go to campus, virtual campus, is 10 of May. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And then we have, I think, three weeks, no? More or less. 2 weeks. Well, 15 days, more or less. No? You have time. You have time. Then I think that it's important, this part as told you, that to have this week or the next week the first meeting with your tutors, then to do the draft and to send, if it's possible, the draft before upload to the virtual campus. Okay? And then you have these personal meetings that you have to agree with your tutor, okay, in order to do the different, approaches about your work, how this the progress. And then you have another draft, advances after August, in September, if I don't remember well, is in September. You have another sent that it have to be more, with more precision. And then at the end, the 8th of November. Okay? Then we have time. But the most important thing now is to decide what do you want to do and to do this draft. Okay? Because the other parts, is to follow the work. Okay? Our recommendations, something that you are motivated and that you can contribute to improve, and that it's something that you will work during all these months. Then please decide considering this. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Then it's all for all today. If you don't have more questions, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say our thesis is done, for example, and we got the result of our project or research. Do we have to present it in front of everyone?
Yes, our intention is not that everyone. We have sometimes we have the meeting with other experts, that want to hear your work, and then is evaluation committee for the oral presentation. Who evaluates your project or your research work is the tutor, okay, the personnel that is assigned with you. But also the oral presentation, sometimes we have this evaluation committee that we also ask to be part of, in order to have this moment, because we like to have this moment hear your work, no, and to do this part that is important also, no, to know it. And of course, if there are people wants to come to the defense, or you want to invite someone, it is open, huh? Yeah.
Thank you.
Here in our public university, when we have oral defense of works, no, in thesis, in grade, or in doctoral presentations, these events are public, and then you can invite people to come or not. But if someone wants to come to hear, no, the presentation also can come. It will be in our case online, huh? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then we can continue. Maybe I don't know if Andrea and Fridos, no? If you want, we can have a meeting now with me.
Yes, if it's possible to have it next week to prepare
Okay.
more for the we
Next
discussed
week. Then
today. Yes.
I have just sent you an email.
Yes,
Please
yes,
reply me.
I will answer to your email
Okay.
and
And
let me
Fridos
know.
also. How is spell your name, Fridos? Fridos or Fridos?
You are spelling it too early.
What?
You are spelling it too early. It's
Okay. Okay, perfect. Then keep in contact, okay?
For my part, I'm free right now. I can have a meeting with you.
Es que no oigo, ¿eh? No oigo. Sorry, but I don't hear you well.
Okay. I'm saying that for my part, I'm free right now. If you have time, possibly we can have a meeting. It doesn't matter.
¿Te has entendido? I'm so sorry, Fridays, because it's like your voice is so minimum, and I can hear your words. And if you want, I can you can write me an email and we can talk. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Then good luck, and we are waiting your advances. Okay? See you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Bye bye.